Did you know that the international recognition of Somaliland could accelerate the fragmentation of Ethiopia and push the Horn of Africa into a new and dangerous phase of instability? On the 26th of this month, Israel announced a move toward recognizing Somaliland, driven by strategic and political interests. This declaration immediately triggered regional tension across the Horn of Africa. Countries in the region, the African Union, the Arab League, and the United Nations all condemned Israel's action. Yet the regional reactions revealed deep contradictions. Ethiopia, which previously hinted at recognizing Somaliland, now opposes Israel's move. Kenya, which only months ago hosted Somaliland as a de facto state entity, also joined the condemnation. These conflicting positions expose the fragile and calculated nature of regional diplomacy. An official recognition of Somaliland would not be an isolated event. It would strike at the very foundations of Ethiopia's federal structure. Ethiopia is not a homogeneous nation-state, but a complex federation of large ethnic groups with deep historical and political identities. What Addis Ababa and Mogadishu share is a federal system built on ethnic regions, and Ethiopia has been under immense internal pressure for years. Over the past 5 years, major uprisings and rebellions have erupted across the country, involving Tigrayans, Amharas, and Oromos. Some of these uprisings escalated into devastating wars, particularly in Tigray, resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths and the displacement of millions. If the Horn of Africa begins to normalize secession and abandons the African Union's founding principle of respecting colonial borders and territorial integrity, Ethiopia would be the most vulnerable state to collapse. The Ethiopian Federation would unravel first. Western Somalia, known as Ogaden, was annexed into Ethiopia through European colonial arrangements in the 19th century without the consent of its people. Since then, the Somali population of the region has never genuinely accepted Ethiopian rule. Their identity has always been Somali and national in character, not Ethiopian. Armed resistance, political struggle, and diplomatic advocacy have defined the Ogaden cause for decades, with the ONLF symbolizing this long-standing struggle. Though the armed phase has subsided, the aspiration for self-determination has never disappeared and has merely shifted into political and diplomatic forms. The Tigray War fundamentally changed political consciousness within Tigrayan society. After mass killings, repression, and destruction under Abiy Ahmed's government, many Tigrayans concluded that Ethiopian unity had failed them. What once seemed like an unrealistic aspiration, independence and self-determination, has become a serious option openly discussed by political leaders and the public alike. Today, Tigrayan self-determination represents a final strategic card that could be played if Ethiopia's federal system continues to weaken or collapse. If Tigray moves in that direction, Somali regions within Ethiopia could reorganize their national struggle, and other groups such as the Oromo and Afar would likely follow. This scenario represents a profound strategic threat to Ethiopia's future. A chain reaction of ethnic self-determination could lead to federal disintegration or a violent collapse comparable to Yugoslavia. At the same time, Ethiopian diplomacy is trapped in an extremely sensitive position. Addis Ababa is torn between maintaining relations with Somalia, protecting its economic and strategic interests in northwestern Somalia, particularly access to ports like Berbera, and avoiding international backlash that would follow any recognition of Somaliland. Full recognition of Somaliland by Ethiopia carries heavy political risks and offers no meaningful strategic advantage. In conclusion, the revival of the Ogaden cause requires structured political planning, national unity, and social development to achieve lasting stability. The world has effectively returned to a 19th century logic of partitioning Africa, and the peoples of the Horn now stand at a crossroads between imposed fragmentation and the pursuit of genuine self-determination.